Hi, everyone, and welcome to season 10 of Reinvent to Rise. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. For those of you who don't know what Reinvent to Rise is, it's just our weekly sessions on how to rise during a reinvention journey. We share a lot of things around soft skills and everything else that makes it that your journey is easier and smoother. So, without further ado, today's session is about beating procrastination and staying consistent. Now, if you're someone like me, I have struggled in the past with procrastination and staying consistent in many ways in my growth years. And I'm still working on it, actually. But one of the things that I have found is that for every single joy, every single victory, every single thing that I have done in my life that is as a result of beating procrastination and developing consistency, they are results that have stayed. So, today we're going to go into some of those things that I have learned and some of the ways that you can do this. I believe so much that if you can just stay tuned over the next few minutes, you will learn something that is going to change how you view procrastination and how you view consistency. So, let's dive right in. And while we are doing that, I'm going to be sharing my screen. So, in case you're wondering what she up to, I am sharing my screen for those of you that haven't been on these calls before. And I'm going to just go on and begin to present to you. This session is for anyone who has ever felt delayed, has ever overthought, or struggled to stay on track. Okay. So, we're going to be unpacking why procrastinate and how to break free from it. Okay. If you want to make an easy job seem mighty hard, just keep putting it off. Olin Miller. That's one of my favorite quotes. And I love it because it just shifts how I think about procrastination. It shifts how I think about making an easy job of something that my brain has told me it's really difficult. So now, why we procrastinate? Why do we procrastinate? Procrastination is not a time issue. And that's something I found out 14 years ago. It's an emotional one. I grew up with a mom that always said to me, honey, procrastination is a disease. At first, I used to wonder, a disease? An ailment? Well, where's the medication? Until when I grew up and I realized what she actually meant by it's a disease. However, with time, I have learned that procrastination is not actually a disease, but it's a state of mind. When we procrastinate, we avoid sometimes the fear of failure or judgment, perfectionism, and overwhelm. And sometimes lack of clarity or motivation can cause us to procrastinate. There's a 5-step procrastination loop by Dr. Tim Pychyl. Now, pardon me if I butcher that pronunciation, but I love the 5-step procrastination loop that he shared. You are assigned a task, then you feel anxiety, boredom, fear of failure, or overwhelm, and then you avoid the task to escape discomfort, right? And then you feel temporary relief because you've escaped discomfort. Anybody ever been there, my friends? But after that temporary relief and feeling of, oh gosh, I avoided that, you later begin to feel guilt and self-criticism sets in, making you associate that task with more negativity. And then you're back to step one. I know some of you listening to me are probably wondering, I have felt that before. Yeah. But the good thing is there's nobody right now to see you. So you're good, my friend. Let's keep going. Now, how do you break that loop? There are 3 power shifts that you can engage in order to break that loop. You can shift your emotion, right? From that of self-condemnation to self-compassion. You can shift your focus, right? From, oh my gosh, I got all this work to do, to one small action. And then you can shift your environment in order to reduce your friction that's going on right there in your mind. The 2-minute rule by David Allen is something that I didn't learn this until about 10 years ago. If a task would normally take you 2 minutes to do, just do it immediately. You might want to grab David Allen's Getting Things Done. And there's another book that I love so much, Eat That Frog. Until I read Eat That Frog, I was just really, really good at procrastinating, really good at it. And I would procrastinate the toughest tasks because I just felt, you know what? I could do something else. I don't want to do that right now. But after reading Eat That Frog, I realized that, well, taking that bold step to eat the biggest frog first just makes my life easier in the long run. Now let's look at the practical things you can do. For some people, task list is a big deal. I have lots of friends that they live by their task list. Something that I have found that works really great is time blocking as well. So do not just make a to-do list, put tasks on your calendar. To-do lists show what you want to do. Time blocking shows when you actually do it. If it's not scheduled, it probably won't happen. I have been there before. Lots of to-do lists every day. Start the day with my to-do list or close the night with my to-do list for tomorrow. But if it's not on my calendar, it's most often never getting done. And I learned this from my friend. Her name is Mercedes. About 14 years ago. She said to me, honey, I live by my calendar. So if we were going to have just lunch, she would put it on a calendar. If I wanted to have lunch with her, I would send her a calendar invite. If she wanted to just chat with me for 10 minutes, she would put it on my calendar. And at first it was funny. But I realized why it made her such an amazing woman in her role. She was responsible for a lot of executive officers in tech and who were really very busy. And she needed to be on point in terms of consistency. And so she also had to do that in order to help other people be on task. So time blocking works. The consistency ladder. Okay, it's a motivational framework inspired by the work of Mel Robbins and all the other folk you can see on my screen. It's a very simple ladder, but it is start, show up, repeat, adjust, level up. You start, you show up, you repeat, you adjust, and then you level up. Your consistency toolkit. So you're going to want to think about, what are you composing in your toolkit? For those of you who are very new to these sessions, I talk a lot about your toolkit in the journey of life. You can't journey alone, no matter how much it feels good to be alone. Life is not meant for being alone. And take it from someone who is an ambivert. I have moments when I just don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be by myself. And then I have moments when it's all joy to speak with people like yourself and attend events and just be in front of thousands of people and sharing. But the one thing that helps a lot is when your toolkit is packed with the right tools in this journey. So let's look at these 5 tools. Habit tracker apps, things like Habitica and Streaks. Any habit tracker app is okay. Accountability partners or groups. Weekly review rituals. Do you sit down either on Friday or Saturday or Sunday and do a weekly review? How did last week go? Can anybody believe how fast 2025 has gone? Or is it just me? It felt like yesterday that we said Happy New Year. And we are about to wrap up May. This lets me know that numbering our days is not an option that we have not to do. We've got to. So weekly review rituals, if you haven't been doing it, it just helps you to put something in perspective. At dinner last night, my spouse and I were speaking, and I was like, do you know it's been 2 months since we had this conversation with this particular person? And he looked at me and he said, oh, wow, yeah, that's true. 2 months. It felt like a week. If you don't go through weekly rituals and evaluate, time will continue to tick. And you'll wake up one day and realize, I could have done that. I had all the time, but I didn't evaluate and I didn't make it a priority to do so. Visual cues. Now, for those of you that really know me or anybody that's ever been in my studio, you know I'm a big fan of visual cues, right? Whatever I am going through in my life, I want to put something around me, in front of me, that helps me to remember. I just took out a Post-it note now that I had stuck on my screen. Why did I have that particular Post-it note? I took it and I put it on my screen because I want to deal with categorization of something. I don't want to forget. And so I put it there. I sometimes put things on my wall. So before we had our house painted, I used to have a lot of things on the wall, but those guys came and they took it all off because they were going to do a painting. So I'm still working on putting things back up, but I have words around me, in front of me, everywhere that I could possibly get away with it, reminding me of what is important. What is important to you? How are you reminding yourself? You might not want to put Post-it notes on your walls. You might not want to put posters on your walls that have specific words. You might not want to do something like that. But do you have a t-shirt that you wear once a week that's actually the words that you need to be reminded about? Do you have something that you don't have to log into or open that reminds you of what your purpose is? I think that's the whole point of the visual cues. I'm a big fan for visuals. As some of you might already know, I love to see things because my brain can see and connect. But some of us are text driven. It's okay. Some of us are auditory driven. It's okay. Is there a song that reminds you of where you should be and ought to be, that you can put in autoplay specific days of the week? It could even be the song that wakes you up in the morning. It could also be your ringtone. Think creatively about how to give yourself the reminder. And then your environment design. I won't belabor that. We talked a little bit about that last week. Your environment really matters. It really so matters. Take that extra 30 minutes, take that extra 5 minutes, take that extra 40 minutes to just organize it the way that it would continue to be a reward to you rather than a drain. This impact story is about Tim Urban, okay? This guy used to be a master, well, technically he's called the master procrastinator, but he struggled with chronic procrastination, often pulling, all-nighters when he was at Harvard to finish work last minute. His mindset shifted when he visualized his life in weeks. And he realized that procrastination was costing him more than deadlines. It was costing him time. His viral TED Talk, Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator, it's something that I would recommend you to watch if you haven't. It humorously explains, this instant gratification monkey and panic monster models. I won't tell you about it. You go fish it out and learn. Now, I've got news for you. As from today, your new narrative has arrived. You're not a procrastinator. It doesn't necessarily mean that you won't procrastinate sometimes, but you're not a procrastinator. You're not somebody that procrastinates at the detriment of their destiny. You are a person learning to manage resistance and build new habits. That's why you're watching Reinvent to Rise. The image here is an image of a procrastinator's brain, right? And it's a resource that I want to share. Now, some of you keep asking us for resources, and I share them. Before I continue, please remember to subscribe and to thumbs up and to give us feedback when some of these resources bless you. That way, I continue to search for them and make them available to you. So, Tim Urban knows that the procrastination doesn't make sense, but he's never been able to shake his habit, right, of waiting until the last minute to get things done. So you want to click on that link on YouTube and watch it. For those who have never heard of Atomic Habits, by James Clear, that is a book that emphasizes on better habits, building better habits, okay, by focusing on your identity, your environment, and a simple 4-step behavioral loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. Remember, true transformation happens by improving just 1% every day, not through massive overnight change. That was where I learned in my life. Many years ago, I was all about It's got to be massive. It's got to be intense. If it's not, then I don't feel it's happening. Until I learned the power of atomic habits. Until I learned that 30 minutes a day can revolutionize your life powerfully if you spend it just those 30 minutes a day. And for those of you who have not heard about our 30 minutes challenge, I encourage you to join us. 30 minutes a day would change one critical thing that you're dedicated to transforming through atomic habits. Right. And that brings me to the end of our session today. I know. The time goes by so fast, and I just enjoy sharing with you. And before we leave, I want to encourage you to subscribe, okay? And never miss our live events or recorded events. Start your challenge on your own with replays on our YouTube channel, or join the Reinvent to Rise community. With that, I'll say to you, have a lovely weekend. This weekend, touch on something you've been procrastinating. It could be that wardrobe you've been trying to clear. It could be that desk you've been trying to tidy up. It could be that song you've been trying to write. Whatever it is, my friend, I encourage you that consistency is your toolkit. And I hope you will consider joining our 90-day challenge that's been going on for a while, and give yourself accountability in the midst of people that truly care about your success. And with that, I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.